The rain of burning debris fell across the sky as the alien outpost shook under another impact. The ground quaked and walls cracked. A deep rumble echoed through the night, followed by a sound no one could mistake the roar of something huge and Hunting Lieutenant Sarek stumbled through the smoke, gripping the cum device in his trembling claws. His unit was gone. The defense cannons were nothing but twisted. Rex, the only thing left was fear. He opened a channel, his voice breaking as he spoke to the empty stars. "This is Outpost Theta. We are under attack by an unknown predator requesting any vessel in range to respond. Warning. This is not a normal enemy. Do not come unless you can kill monsters." The transmission ended with a crackle. And then there was silence. The air smelled of ash and blood. Somewhere beyond the walls something moved, the sound of claws. Scraping metal echoed through the empty corridors. Sarek forced himself to stay awake through the long night, every shadow. Shifting every sound growing louder, the predator was playing with him like prey days past. The survivors huddled in the remains of the barracks, food nearly gone, weapons barely functioning. The SOS had gone unanswered. No ships, no fleets, only the constant sense that the creature was still out there, watching, waiting. The youngest soldier whispered that maybe no one dared come. Maybe the galaxy had already written them off. Sarek could not argue. The stories of Deathworlders came to his mind. But he pushed them away. Those were just myths, warriors from a cursed planet who could survive anything. He did not truly believe they existed. The fifth day the ground shook again, but not from the creature this time. It was the heavy thud of landing. Struts, a massive shadow, blotted out the sun as a warship descended from the clouds. Its black hull was scarred with the marks of countless battles, and its name burned across the side in silver letters. Iron Vulture. The survivors gathered watching. The ramp lower with a hiss of steam. A group of figures emerged, walking in a slow, confident line. They were not armored like most soldiers. Instead, they wore light gear, their faces uncovered, their eyes were sharp, cold, calculating. They scanned the broken outposts, not like rescuers, but like predators. Sizing up a hunting ground, Sarek stepped forward, his voice hopeful and shaking. "Thank the stars you came. We sent the signal. We need extraction and medical aid." The human at the front, a tall figure, with a jagged scar across his jaw, looked at him without smiling. His voice was calm but heavy with something Sarek could not name. "Okay. We got your signal and we are not here to save you. We're here for the thing that attacked you." Sarek froze. He looked to the others, but they too were silent. The human captain's gaze swept the smoking ruins. "You and your people will stay out of our way. This is our hunt now." The humans moved with strange discipline, spreading through the ruins like they owned them. They checked claw marks, smelled the air, touched broken metal as if reading a language only they understood. One of them crouched by a deep gouge in the wall and grinned to himself. "This is fresh," he said. The rest nodded. Their leader turned back to Sarek. "Where is it?" Sarek stammered. "It comes at night. It's fast. It kills before you can see it." The captain's scarred mouth curved in a half-smile. "Good, that means it's smart, makes the hunt more fun." That night Sarek could not sleep. He watched from the shadows as the humans sat in the open around a small fire. They laughed softly as if this was a camp on a peaceful world, not the killing ground of a monster. One of them sharpened a blade longer than Sarek's arm, another calmly loaded a weapon that hummed with deadly power. The youngest human noticed him watching and tilted his head. "Don't worry, it won't come for you tonight. We're the only ones it's going to see." Sarek wanted to ask why, but the human's grin stopped him. The way they spoke, the way they moved, it was clear these were not ordinary soldiers. These were hunters. In the deep hours of the night, a scream cut through the stillness. It came from the far side of the compound, followed by a crash and the hiss of something moving fast. The humans did not panic. They rose smoothly, weapons in hand, their faces lit with something close to joy. The captain looked at Sarek. "Stay here." He and his team disappeared into the darkness without a sound. Minutes passed, then silence returned. The only sign they had gone was the faint metallic scent in the air. Sarek realized his claws were digging into the ground. His instincts told him the humans were far more dangerous than the creature they hunted. When dawn came, the humans returned. There was no blood on them, no wounds, no trophies, only calm expressions as if nothing had happened. The captain walked past Sarek without a word, but the alien could feel the heat of his gaze like a blade brushing. Skin in that moment, Sarek knew the truth. The humans were not here for mercy. They were not here to protect. They were here because they wanted the hunt. And whatever had attacked his outpost was now in more danger than any of them. The alien survivors stayed close together. The next day, watching the humans from a distance, the Iron Vulture's crew moved through the wreckage with purpose, scanning claw marks, broken walls, and trails of blood as if they were reading a book. Sarek had never seen such focus. The humans did not seem afraid of the creature that had destroyed the outpost. In fact, they looked almost eager to find it. One of them knelt near a broken bulkhead and touched the twisted metal with his bare hand. The edges were jagged and still faintly warm. He smiled without humor and said softly, "It's close." The others nodded and moved on like predators closing in on their prey. Eric approached the human captain. Still not understanding their behavior, "You don't know what you're facing," he warned. "It's fast. It's strong. Its claws can tear through armor." The captain looked at him for a long moment, then gave a short laugh. "Good," he said. His voice was calm, but carried something dangerous. "That means it will fight back." The alien officer felt a chill. The humans were not here to survive the hunt. They were here to enjoy Ataz. Night fell. The humans prepared in ways the aliens found strange. They set no barriers, no energy shields. Instead, they cleared open space in the middle of the outpost and positioned themselves in plain sight. The aliens hid in the shadows, certain the humans had lost their minds. The youngest alien medic tried to speak with a human soldier, a tall woman with calm eyes. He warned her about the creature's speed and intelligence. She only smiled, showing her teeth like a threat. "I hope it's smart," she said. "Smart prey makes the chase worth it." The night was silent for hours until the first sound came, a faint scrape. Like claws on stone, the humans froze in place, but their eyes lit up with excitement. They began moving slowly, deliberately, as if trying to draw the creature, and Sarek realized with horror that the humans were using themselves as bait. One of them even removed his helmet and tossed it aside, exposing his head as if daring the predator to strike. Suddenly a shadow shifted near the edge of the ruins. The creature stepped into view, tall, lean, covered in bone-like plates. Its eyes glowed faintly in the dark, and its claws dripped with something thick and black. Sarek's breath caught. This was the same thing that had slaughtered dozens in minutes. But to his shock, the humans did not raise their weapons. Instead, they stood still, watching it like they were studying every detail of its movement. The creature's gaze moved from the humans to the aliens hiding behind a broken wall. Sarek expected it to lunge for the closer, easier prey. Instead, it stepped back, its muscles tensed, and it gave a low hiss before turning its eyes back to the humans. Then, without warning, it retreated into the darkness. The humans lowered their weapons, slowly, smiles spreading across their faces. One of them chuckled. "Did you see that it knows the aliens?" Whispered among themselves, confused and frightened. Why would the creature fear them? It had never run from anything before. Sarek remembered the way it had looked at the humans, like it recognized them. The captain glanced toward him, catching his eye. "That's a good sign," he said quietly. "Means it's heard of us before. Means it knows what's coming." Sarek's throat tightened. The humans weren't just dangerous. They were something the galaxy's worst predator already feared, and that was more terrifying than the monster itself. The morning after the strange encounter, the humans moved like shadows through the broken outpost. Their eyes scanned the ground, following faint marks that no alien could see. Sarek trailed behind them, trying to stand. They crouched over small scratches on metal, sniffed the air, and touched the dirt with bare hands. Every action was deliberate, precise, it reminded Sarek of watching a hunting pack back on his homeworld, moving in silent agreement without needing words. These humans were not searching for the creature by chance. They were tracking it as if they had done this 1,000 times before. They spoke to each other in short, low bursts of their own language, using strange hand signs. Sarek noticed they didn't simply follow the trail straight. Instead, they circled it, sometimes even moving away from it. He finally asked the youngest human what they were doing. She glanced at him and smirked. "We're letting it think it's safe." Sarek didn't understand. How could they? Let it go when they had the chance to strike, but her expression told him she thought this was the most natural thing in the world. That afternoon they found a wide clearing where the ground was torn and scorched. The humans moved with excitement. As they examined the signs, the captain ran his fingers over a deep claw gouge in a fallen wall and nodded. "This was a fight it didn't win," he murmured. Another human added, "We've met one of these before on a world where everything wanted to kill." Sarek shivered at the casual way they said it, as if that world had been a playground and not a nightmare. When night fell, the humans prepared again, but not to kill. They spread food scraps and strange, smelling liquid in the open and lit small fires in different spots around the ruins. It made no sense to Sarek. Why warn the creature where you are? The captain explained, without looking at him, "We want it curious. Curious prey comes closer. Confident prey makes mistakes." That was when Sarek realized they were not fighting for survival. They were enjoying a sport far away in the darkness. The creature watched unseen. Its mind was sharp. It remembered the last night's meeting. The tall ones with strange eyes had not feared it. They had not run. Their scent was unlike any other, full of challenge and danger. Deep in its instincts, something old whispered a warning, the legends of the apex predators from the blue world. The stories that even its kind avoided, yet the humans had come to its territory as if it belonged to them. The creature's claws dug into the earth. Its choices were simple: flee and live in shame, or fight and risk everything back at the camp. The humans spoke quietly about the hunt. Some of them laughed as if remembering old battles. One described a beast twice as large as this one and how it had taken 3 days to bring it down. Another told of a planet where storms killed faster than predators. Sarek listened in silence, feeling a deep unease in his chest. The more he heard, the more he realized that to humans danger was not something to escape, it was something to seek out and conquer. The night stretched long and still until a single distant roar cut through the air. The humans turned toward the sound like wolves catching a scent. Their eyes shone in the firelight. The captain's voice was calm and cold. "It's ready now." Then they rose to their feet, weapons loose in their hands, and walked into the darkness, leaving the aliens behind. The hunt had truly begun. The humans returned at dawn, carrying nothing but the dust of the night on their boots. Their faces showed no fatigue, only the calm patience of predators that knew the chase was far from over. Sarek tried to ask if they had seen the creature, but the captain only gave him a look that felt more like a warning than an answer. Later that morning, the humans gathered the aliens in the center of the outpost and began explaining their strange way of hunting. One of them drew marks in the dirt, showing a circle and a cross through it. "Never kill the apex predator right away," the soldier said. "You break it first. Make it lose hope. Then when it knows it can't win, you finish it." Sarek could not hide his confusion. This was not war. It was cruelty in slow motion. The captain spoke about Deathworld rules with a voice that carried weight and certainty. You never show fear. You never chase blindly. You let the predator think it is strong until it's too tired to fight. That's when you take it. Humans, he said, did not fight only with weapons. They fought with patience, hunger, and a kind of relentless will that wore enemies down. Sarek realized this was not about survival. It was about dominance. Throughout the day, the humans prepared an ambush, but in a way that defied every tactic. Sarek knew they deliberately left open paths for the predator to enter. They piled broken crates and debris into choke points and even spread trails of blood from animal carcasses they had hunted. Earlier, when the aliens asked why, the captain answered simply, "It will smell food, but what it won't smell is the trap waiting for it." Sarek didn't want to know what the trap was. At dusk, the humans did something even stranger. They went out to a dangerous part of the ruins where lesser predators lurked. Instead of avoiding them, they walked straight into the territory of these creatures. Laughing softly when the first set of glowing eyes appeared in the dark, Sarek watched in disbelief. As the humans fought barehanded at first, grappling the beasts, twisting and breaking limbs before finishing them with blades, they came back scratched and bruised, but smiling as if they had just warmed up for the real fight that night. The air grew heavy with tension. The humans moved with quiet purpose, each one taking a position in the open yard of the outpost. Sarek noticed that one soldier, a broad man with dark eyes, was limping badly. His side was bloodied from the earlier fight. Instead of being treated. He was placed in the most exposed spot. The aliens protested, but the captain shut them down. He'll be fine. He's bait, the casual way he said it made Sarek's blood run cold. As the stars climbed high, the night fell into deep silence. Even the insects stopped chirping. The wounded human sat in the center of the open ground, his weapon resting loosely on his knee. His breathing was steady, his eyes fixed on the shadows beyond the wall. Somewhere out there, the predator moved. Drawn by the scent of blood, the aliens huddled together, watching from behind cover. The captain crouched nearby, whispering to his team, "When it comes in, don't rush. Let it believe it can win." Sarek realized that this was the moment they had been building toward. The humans were ready to face the creature on their own terms, and they wanted it to think victory was within reach first. The silence broke with a low rumble from the darkness, followed by the crunch of heavy steps. The air seemed to grow colder as the predator emerged from the ruins. Its bone-plated body glistened in the moonlight, and its eyes locked on the wounded human sitting in the open. Sarek's heart pounded. The creature moved with slow confidence, certain of the kill. The injured soldier did not move. Instead, he smiled faintly as if greeting an old friend. His fingers tightened on his weapon, but he made no effort to raise it. The predator crept closer, its claws scraping the stone, every step sending shivers down Sarek's spine. It finally lunged. The human didn't dodge. He met the attack head-on, catching one of the creature's claws. With both hands, the impact drove him back in the dirt, but he held firm. His teeth were bared, not in pain but in challenge. The other humans moved then, bursting from the shadows with a speed and force that left the aliens breathless. They didn't fight like soldiers. They fought like wild beasts, blades flashing gunfire, thundering mixed with shouts that sounded more like war cries than commands. One soldier slammed into the creature's side, driving a blade between its armor plates. Another leaped onto its back, using nothing but raw strength to rip a section of bone away. The predator roared, thrashing violently, but the humans didn't break away. They stayed close to close, forcing the fight into brutal close-quarters combat. One human bit down on the creature's arm, drawing blood. Another used the jagged edge of broken armor as a weapon, stabbing deep again and again. Sarek had never seen such ferocity, not even among the deadliest hunters of his own world. These humans were not just trying to kill the predator, they were trying to show it that it had never been the apex here. The wounded soldier still clung to one of the creature's arms, refusing to let go, even as its claws cut deep into his side. His face was pale, but his voice was steady. "Hold it." He roared the words, and the rest obeyed. The captain stepped forward, then his expression cold and final. He drove his weapon under the creature's jaw, the shot blasting through its skull. The predator fell still, the sound of its death echoing across the ruins, but the humans did not end it there. They worked together to bind its massive body with chains and reinforced straps, lifting it just enough to keep it alive. The captain looked down at the wheezing, dying thing and said, "Not yet. It hasn't earned the end." Sarek stared in disbelief. "You captured it." Why? The captain's gaze was hard. "We didn't come for an easy kill. We came to break it first. Then the final fight will mean something." The aliens whispered among themselves, horrified. The humans had risked their lives not for rescue, not for defense, but for the thrill of proving their dominance. The predator's eyes flicked open, weak and clouded with pain, yet when it looked at the humans, there was no defiance left, only fear. Sarek realized the truth. Then whatever the humans planned next would not be for mercy. And if they could do this to a creature like that, what would they do to anything else that crossed them? The creature lay chained in the center of the ruined outpost, its once powerful body trembling with every ragged breath. The humans stood around it in a loose circle, their eyes calm and steady, as if they were looking at nothing more than a tool. They planned to use. The aliens watched from a distance, still shaken by what they had seen the night before. Sarek couldn't understand why they hadn't simply killed it. The fight was over, yet the captain's earlier words echoed in his mind. "We didn't come for an easy kill. We came to break it." First at dawn, the humans began their work. They didn't torture the creature with blades or fire. Instead, they stalked it, slowly approaching and retreating, circling it for hours. Every time it tried to lunge, they stepped in just close enough to strike, and then backed away. Their movements were deliberate, patient. They were teaching it something. Sarek realized they were teaching it to understand that it could not win the predators. Growls grew weaker, replaced by a low rattling in its chest. It was not the sound of rage anymore. It was the sound of something losing its will to fight by. Midday, the humans released the chains just enough for the creature to stand it staggered. But didn't attack. The captain tilted his head toward the dark forest beyond the outpost. Go, he said. The predator hesitated, then bolted into the trees. The aliens gasped in disbelief. Why let it go? But the humans didn't chase immediately. Captain's voice was low. It'll run until it thinks it's safe. Then we finish it. This is the Deathworld way. You don't just kill a predator. You destroy its spirit hours. Later, the humans followed its trail deep into the forest. Their movements were swift, silent, efficient. The aliens stayed behind, unwilling to see what would happen, but Sarek's curiosity dragged him after them. The deeper they went, the more the air felt heavy, as if the forest itself was holding its breath. They found the creature in a narrow gorge, its back to the wall. Its claws dug into the rock, but its stance was broken, hopeless. The humans approached slowly, weapons ready. The captain's voice was quiet and final. This is for what your kind did to our Sarek. Didn't understand until the captain spoke again as he aimed his weapon centuries ago. Your species hunted ours, thought we were easy prey. You were wrong. We've been hunting you ever since the humans struck as one. The gorge echoed with the sound of the final fight. The predator tried to resist, but every move was met with relentless force. It was not a battle. It was an execution by those who had already won long before the first blow win. It was over. The humans stood over the body in silence. No cheers, no celebration, only a grim satisfaction. The captain finally turned to Sarek and the other aliens. You survived because we allowed it. This planet is ours now. We'll clear it of anything that thinks it's above us. The Iron Vulture will. Stay until the hunt is finished. Sarek felt a cold weight settle in his chest. They hadn't answered the SOS to save lives. They had answered it because the galaxy was their hunting ground that night, as the humans made camp at the edge of the forest. Sarek sent out a new transmission into the stars. It was not a plea for help. It was a warning to anyone who might hear. If Deathworlders answer your signal, don't hope for mercy. Hope they never come at all.